feel a little messy at times, chaotic even. But today we're diving into some fun with a gorgeous new design meant to take you on a relaxing and inspiring journey. This is Quintalessence by Carrie Gillett, and it's a really fun one to knit because it consists of 3 different stitch patterns. I love this design because each different stitch pattern uses a different technique, so you're going to get to practice different skills. You get the fun of alternating between easy, relaxing garter stitch, and it is very relaxing, which I feel like we could all use a little bit more of in life right now. And then you have this beautiful stitch, which is so gorgeous and a wonderful way to practice some lace. Carrie and I are not even sure what this stitch is called, so if you do know, leave a comment below. And if you don't, let us know what you think it should be called. We have this beautiful checkerboard stitch, which I'm going to show you a couple different ways to work that so you can feel comfortable and cozy as you work it. And check out the final border, which is beautiful, sumptuous linen stitch, which is one of my personal favorite stitches. The colors just dance and mingle together, and it really ties the whole piece together for a beautiful polished finish. And not only does this design take you on a beautiful, sumptuous stitch journey, it's also going to walk you through an array of beautiful colors. We used our scrumptious and squishy hand-dyed Buttery sport yarn, and this is called Tulip Hues, which is a beautiful reminder of the joy and the hope that comes with spring. If you would love to download the pattern and get the yarn, hop on over to ExpressionFiberArts.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for email and for text update for weekly free knit and crochet patterns. We're gonna have some fun together and make a little miniature version of this shawl so you are all set up to make the real deal. We're gonna start with the setup, which uses color A, and we're gonna begin by casting on 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and I'm just using the long tail cast on method. Then we're going to go ahead and purl these first 3 stitches. So yarn to the front, purl 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to work row 2, and we are doing that checkerboard fair isle, so we do need our second color. We're going to start by knitting with color A. Then we're going to make one, which means we take our left needle and insert it into this little bar here between our stitches from front to back. Like so, and we're going to knit into the back of it, but we're going to do that with color B. I'm going to go ahead and work two-handed fair isle, where I hold one yarn in one hand and one in the other, but I'll show you a different option here in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and knit into the back of this stitch and pick up color B. Go ahead and pull that through. So we've now increased by 1, and we have attached our second color. Then we're going to knit one with color A. Then we're going to knit one with color B, and I'm going to drop the tail. I was just holding it securely. And you should have 4 stitches at this point. Row 3, we're going to go ahead and purl across. We're going to start by purling with color A. And we are alternating. So if you see color B, we're purling with color A. If you see color A, we're purling with color B. So you'll just purl all of those stitches, purl with A, and purl with B. And it should look like this. For section 1, we're going to start with row 1, and we're going to actually begin by knitting this one with B because we're going to work an increase and we want to stay in pattern where we're alternating. Begin that first stitch by knitting one with color B. Then we're going to make one with color A. Insert the tip of your left needle into the bar between your stitches, and into the back loop of that, go ahead and knit with A. So we've now increased one. Then we're going to alternate. Knit with B, knit with A, knit with B. So we've stayed in pattern and continued with our little checkerboard look. There's a note in the pattern that if the last stitch of row 1 is color B, which in this case it is, then we're going to work row 2A. So we're going to go ahead and jump and work row 2A. This is another purl row. And we're going to go ahead and just alternate across. We're going to begin by purling A, purling B, and just always make sure you're working A into B and B into A, except of course on our right side increase rows at the beginning of our rows when we need to make a little increase, which I showed you in the previous row. For row 3, we're going to start by knitting 1A, and again that's that little caveat because we want to stay in pattern even though we're making an increase. Knit 1A, then we're going to make one by inserting our left needle front to back into the bar between our stitches, and we're going to make one in the back loop of that with B. And the reason we work into the back loop is so that we don't make a little hole. We like to twist that stitch. Then you're just going to work across in pattern. Knit 1A, knit 1B, knit 1A, and knit 1B. Now there's a note in the pattern: if the last stitch of row 3 is color B, which it is for us right now, then you're going to work row 4A. We're going to turn and we're going to work row 4A. And as you work with two different colors, keep your balls separated and untangled so that they're not wrapping and twisting and getting tangled. Now another option that you can do with Fair Isle is to hold the yarns in the same hand. You don't have to do two-handed like I've been doing. You can hold them both in your right hand, which I'm not as comfortable with, so I'm going to show you holding both in my left hand. So to do that, I just tension them both in one hand, but I wrap them a little differently so that they're easy to work. We're going to begin row 4A by purling one with color A. So both yarns are here in the front, and we're going to go ahead and purl, but with just color A. Then we're going to purl, but with just color B. Purl A, purl B. For me, I really do prefer the two-handed method, but I say try both and see what feels most comfortable for you. You're going to continue repeating those rows as mentioned in the pattern, and then you're going to cut your yarn, and we're going to move into the garter section. We are on to section 2, and we're going to use our third color. We're going to start with row 1 of this section, which is knit front and back. Knit into the front of that first stitch and into the back for an increase. Then you're just going to knit all the way across your row. Nice and easy. Row 2, we are just going to knit across. Very, very easy brain break of a row. And don't worry if your edges are a little wonkadoodle at this point. You will be working a border all the way around, and that will take care of that. Knit and knit. I've gone ahead and repeated those rows a couple times, and you are going to end on a row 1 because we're going to begin section 3 on the wrong side. I've gone ahead and cut color C. I'm moving on to the 4th color, which is color D. Here's row 1 of section 3. You're just going to purl across. So every stitch, just work a purl stitch. This section is quite simple as well. Just a lot of repeating basic stitches. For row 2, we're going to knit front and back for an increase, knit into the front of the stitch, swing around and knit into the back of that stitch, and then whoop, lop it off. Then you're going to repeat across, yarn over, slip that next stitch as if to knit, knit 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then pass that slipped stitch up and over those 2 stitches. And we're going to work that all the way down. Yarn over, slip that next stitch as if to knit, knit the next stitch, and knit the next stitch. And then go ahead and pass that slipped stitch up and over those 2 stitches and off of your right needle. There is a note in the pattern. If 2 stitches remain, you're going to work a yarn over and knit 2 together. If you ever find you have 1 stitch remaining, you just knit it. And I've gone ahead and repeated those 2 rows with our next color, and that's how easy it is to work that section. So once you do this and follow along with me, you're gonna see just how easy all of these different stitches are, and you're gonna be well on your way to making this absolutely beautiful shawl. As you can see, these stitches are very doable, and there are multiple ways to get that Fair Isle accomplished, so choose the method that makes you feel most confident and comfortable. I hope you love it. Have a wonderful week and hop back next week for another gorgeous new design. I hope to see you then. Bye!